Hey guys, so a little bit of a disclaimer before, before I get into the review itself. After watching this episode, there's potentially a scenario where I might have to put the anime reviews on hold until I pretty much finish up in reading this arc in the manga because I think I know where this pretty much arc is going to end off, but I won't know that for sure until I bare minimum finish reading this arc in the manga, and then I'll be able to, and then after that is when I'll continue reviewing the anime. It's gonna put me behind a couple weeks, mind you, but it's just one of those problems I kind of created for myself, but by choosing to review both the anime and the manga at the same time. Um, but okay, so major thing to talk about with this episode is after getting ambushed by some applicants, and after a scuffle with them, where Akira lets her instincts take over and bulldozes through them all. Taro basically asks the $1 million question, which is, what is Akira's family name? And she reveals it to be a cow. The family member she spoke of is the same person from Taro's past, and I'm just gonna say it, Taro really opened up a Pandora's box with just that singular question, because now, whether he likes it or not, he's faced with a situation where he's going to have to come to terms with his past. And even more so, just by asking this, Taro's opened himself up to suspicion from Akira. Like, what does he know about what happened to a cow? Like that's basically, like, Akira clearly knows only so much about her relative, but the fact that Taro kind of seems evasive about this whole topic is just going to make him even more suspicious. And even if he dodges the question, like, he's going to have to give her an answer at some point. And on that note, I forgot to bring this up last episode, but I figured it was better to bring it up here. But the fact that Kanaguri took such an interest in Akira seems to indicate he knows more about her than he lets on. And if he does have, and that to me, the one thing that definitely kind of is screaming out in my one bit of red flag kind of thing is screaming out in my head with this, is that whatever happened to Akira, Uzuki was definitely involved. And again, the fact that Kanaguri took such an interest in Akira seems to indicate he knows more about her than he lets on. And if he does have connection to Uzuki, that makes the situation all the more problematic, just from the fact that he's taking an interest in her. But so yeah, so it's just on. This whole situation just got so much more complicated just from this basically one reveal. I also with that said, I also really like how this episode visualizes Akira's ability, especially when she goes into assassination mode. And granted, the animation could have been better, obviously, but the idea, but I do like how it portrayed the idea of the paths, as they're called, and the fact that Akira could seemingly visualize it in some way shows a cow likely could it like a cow very likely taught her how to utilize this method, just enough to see them. But on top of that, the fact that Taro had to stop her also shows that I think a cow died before Akira was taught to control it. So it's like she can, whatever this paths thing is, she has access to the power, but she clearly doesn't know how to control it yet. And I think in some ways that is what this whole. I think that if Taro decides to open up to Akira about it, I think that is what's going to be the whole thing that happens here, is that the whole thing of how their relationship develops is it's going to be Taro trying to Prince trying to teach Akira how to control her ability to see the paths in a cow's stead. That's kind of how I'm viewing this right now. With that said, this episode also introduces us to 3 new characters who are taking the exam under recommendation. Now Torimura Juichi Kaji and Shania. Now, I can't talk much about these characters without giving away heavy spoilers for presumably the next episode, but all I will say is Nao was kind of one of those characters that I thought I was gonna hate, but she kind of became one of my favorites in this new cast by the end. Like the way the series explores her character just in this arc made me say by the end, okay, Suzuki clearly had experience dealing with these kind of people. I'm sure of it, and he used that experience as inspiration for basically Nao's character. Like, it's clear as day he's familiar with these type of people. Now, unfortunately, it's just too bad I can't say the same about Jay Irk, because, like his name alludes to, this guy is not only the biggest asshole in the series to date, but honestly, even as far as what I assume is his intended purpose to be the comedy relief of the arc, he kind of just fails every which way on that level. Like he just kind of sucks. He just outright fucking sucks. That in itself, even more so, and that in itself, even more so than when I read the manga, made me legitimately question why the fuck he's here. Like, I'm sorry, this man, to me, clearly does not have the skills to become an assassin. So if he, like, so at this point, like, if the dumbass passes, it's going to be solely because Taro and Akira carried his dumbass to reach the finish line. Like, this man has no skill, and I'm just wondering why the fuck he's here. I'm sorry, like, I'm not, I hate this man, I do. I'm sorry, I do. Now, the rant aside, the interesting part of this episode to talk about, though, is the tail tag concept, because, believe it or not, it's as they said, this is a legitimate training method the U.S. military uses. It's not just something the series brought up out of the blue or invented just for this test. Like, and for that reason, I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it shows, for as weird and bizarro as the series can be, it still tries to inject that ever so small bit of realism into it in order to tie it back into the idea that this is still a world where everyone is a professionally trained assassin. You don't just learn how to be that by picking up a gun and shooting. There is some level of real-world experience needed to show you are capable for the job, and little additions like this, like the tail tag thing, does add to the world building of the series in the sense of showing, yes, there is a level of training and a level of real world skill that is needed. And again, I know that's kind of weird to say since an organization like Fringe JCC exists to train these people, but it is nice that real world tactics are being utilized in that effort. In saying that, I do like how Shin did tell Taro to treat him like he was the competition. Like, it shows that Shin really is committed to showing he can in fact be Taro's partner, not just some sidekick that gets dragged along for the ride. Like Shin, he wants to improve and get better as an individual, which is understandable after what happened with Uzuki. That, like, I think that, like, after what happened with Uzuki, I think that was the point where Shin realized he was, like, outmatched, and the only way he can get strong enough to fight against Uzuki and his group is to truly test his limitations and just how far he can push them. And who better than pretty much Taro Sakamoto? Like, Taro is kind of the ultimate yardstick to use in order to measure his own skill. So yeah. Outside of that, one thing I did love about this whole, like, section of the arc, though, is that I appreciate even, and something I liked in the manga, but something I appreciate even more in the anime, is how frantic everything feels. Like, from moment to moment, there's always something going on, and it's all about how everyone adapts and reacts. Like in some ways, your ability as an assassin is judged by your ability in order to adapt in whatever situation you're facing. So yeah, just seeing seeing that kind of situation play out is it again adds just that extra little bit that really kind of heightens the tension for me. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe from Blue Sky, and what's Crunchyroll, be sure to notification bell, subscribe button, and just share it around, guys. Dark Knight Rooney signing off. Later, everyone.